What's up, Amazon sellers? If you are just starting on Amazon, then this is the video for you. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some top things you need to be careful about or watch out for when selling on Amazon. This is part of a 3-part mini-series that I'm doing to help understand or show you things that you want to be careful about when selling on the Amazon marketplace. The first one, very much around sourcing. Today, we are going through inventory, shipping. So stay tuned and we'll get into this now. If you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I have been selling on Amazon now for 4 years doing Amazon arbitrage. Quite simply, I am also on a mission to do £1 million by the end of 2021. I'll drop a link up there. What's that? Good journey. Really enjoyed making that video. Now today, quite simply, I'm going to be talking about things that you need to be careful of when selling on Amazon. It's going to help you in your Amazon journey. So I said it before, I've got a first part of this mini series that has already been recorded. Watch that if you haven't seen it. But today we're going to be talking very much around, more the fulfillment and the shipping is going to obviously make sure that you are running an efficient and lean Amazon business. So quite simply today, what am I going to be talking about? I'm going to be talking about number 1, the reality versus expectation when sourcing for products on Amazon. Number 2, I'm going to be talking about fulfillment by Amazon, shipping your products, getting them into Amazon. And then number 3, I'm going to be talking about what you need to be careful of when going head to head or toe to toe with Amazon themselves or bigger Amazon sellers, and what are the warning signs you should be looking for. Maybe that product won't work. So stay tuned, let's go through it now. Okay, so first things first, if you are like me, you are probably doing Amazon arbitrage online and you're probably going through all the different stores looking for different products. Now, quite simply, the reality of the situation is we sit there at our computers, we look at different products and we run the numbers and they look profitable and then we buy them and then we ship them off to Amazon. Now, 99% of the time this works fine and there's no problems. But sometimes our eyes can cause problems and we can misjudge the situation. And what do I mean by this? I mean, quite simply, something on the screen might look a lot smaller than it actually is in real life. If I give you a very good example, one day we found a brilliant product that we thought we would ship and sell into Amazon. The numbers worked out amazingly. We're going to make it 100% ROI. We were really happy until my warehouse sent me this photo. Now, quite simply, if you don't know, this is actually a goalpost. And we thought it was quite a small goalpost. It might be oversized, but we didn't realize it was 2 meters long on one side. 2 meters, that's crazy. Now, what can I recommend for you guys is really be checking those dimensions of the products. So 3 things that are going to help you. Check the dimensions, check the weight of the product, and then finally, top tip, what I'd also recommend is check the FBA fees or just check the fees. If they seem a lot higher than what you normally pay, then that's a very big warning sign to say, hey, the product you're buying is actually pretty big. So many times I've stared at things like Lego thinking, oh, that's a nice Lego product. And when you actually look at the fees, you're like, wow, that thing's massive. So top tip for you guys, look at the dimensions, look at the weight, and also look at the FBA fees, because that's just going to give you a very good indication of how big this product is. And obviously you've got to remember that not only are you going to be shipping it to the customer with high FBA fees, you've also got to get it into Amazon's warehouses. That's a UPS fee. If it's going to be a big item, then obviously that means you're going to have one of them in your box. Even if you can put it in the box, maybe you need to put it on a pallet because it is that big. But just be super mindful of that because that is going to add up to your costs. And that is number 1, things that you should be careful of to watch out for on your Amazon journey. Number 2, now this is about shipments, creating shipments, getting your stock from your warehouse, from your house into Amazon. Now, quite simply, when you are creating those shipments, you get an option from Amazon, which is saying they recommend you bubble wrap an item, or maybe you need to put it in protective packaging. Now, the question I would always ask you is this product not only going to get to Amazon in the state it is right now, obviously it's a good state because you're selling it new, but also will it get through the whole process and to the customer in exactly the same state, depending on how it is currently wrapped. Now, there are a lot of cases of refunds, problems with products coming back that have been broken in transit, and unfortunately, some of our distributors or some of our delivery guys just aren't up to maybe the standard or treating the packages how they should be. For example, this guy here, I just question maybe if that's how he should be handling his parcels. But quite simply, what you need to think about is that product that you're about to ship, have I wrapped it protective, or have I protected it enough that it's going to survive that transit, not only to Amazon, but also in Amazon's warehouses and out to customer itself, and will the customer be happy with the result? Now, why should you care? Well, quite simply, if you have a consistent history of shipping products which gets damaged, obviously it's going to cost you because you're going to get an increase in the number of returns and broken products. But number two, if they get to the customer in a damaged position or damaged product, the customer is going to complain, you're going to get negative customer reviews, and that is going to affect your account metrics and account health. So, top tip, make sure you are protecting your products when you ship them into Amazon. And the question you might ask is, how can you do this? So let me share some top tips now just to support you in getting that right. Number one, I'd really recommend building good systems for identifying products that need to be protected. So when they come in, visually identifying them. Number two, I always recommend actually labeling your products, making sure that you're using the Amazon barcode label. That way, you know that it's your products which are in good position and well wrapped. They're going in, maybe you're not commingling. And then finally, number three, question if you need it labeled or if it's bubble wrapped. If Amazon doesn't say it needs bubble wrapping, then but you do, get the thing bubble wrapped anyway. It's only going to help out in protecting that product when it gets into Amazon and then obviously onto the customer. Really important there. Okay, so the third and the final thing that I'll talk about quite simply is going head to head with Amazon or going head to head with big sellers. Now, quite simply, if you are starting out in Amazon or selling on Amazon, the majority of the time people are going to recommend don't compete against Amazon. Now, I can really understand that. This is Amazon's marketplace. They are the ones in control. They have all the cards, they understand all the data, and they know, and obviously they're probably buying it in bigger bulks than you, and they command a much lower price. So top tip there, I'd probably just avoid initially selling on Amazon, but it's not to say that you can't. But if you want to sell versus Amazon, just make sure you understand if they're sharing the buy box. Now that means that they are sharing it with other third-party sellers. And how can you tell that? Quite simply by using the keeper charts. They are really going to help you understand that question. I'll drop a link up there to a YouTube video that I've created about how to understand if Amazon is sharing the buy box, what you can look at and how it's going to help you. Now, the second part of this is competing against bigger sellers, big sellers. Now, whenever you are selling on Amazon, obviously you're going to have competition. It's the very nature of selling in a marketplace. But the one thing you want to be careful of is when you are selling against a bigger seller is sometimes they will hold a massive amount of stock. Now, while you might be more competitive, or maybe even they might be FBA or fulfillment by merchant, and you are FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, because they are such a big seller and because they're holding so much stock, what's happened? They've invested a lot of their resources, a lot of their money into this product, and it's in their interest that they want to get the product sold. So what does that mean? It means they're probably going to be a lot more competitive against any other newcomers coming into competition with them. It could even be to the point that they will sell at a loss or break even a small loss to ensure that you don't have a good experience on that product. Why? Because if you can sell your product, make money, you're probably going to buy some more and more. What does that mean? The stock that they've purchased isn't going to be selling. So what they're going to do is try and make sure that you don't have a great experience. What can you do? Quite simply, when you are doing your sourcing, when you are looking at your product for review, have a look at the competitions or the competitors' stock levels. And if you find a big seller, someone with lots of reviews and with a lot of stock on a listing, might just want to be careful, or you might just want to buy a very small amount of stock to test. Don't go big too early, because that bigger seller is probably going to want to get their stock selling, and they're going to be very aggressively competitive against you and your price to ensure that they're selling all the time to get all that big volume of stock shifted. Top tip, check the competitor's stock, and if you see a big seller with lots of stock, that's a big warning sign. That means that maybe this item might not be the right one to purchase, because hey, they want to get their stock sold. Right, that is pretty much it for me. There are 3 top tips there just to help you understand what you should be watching out for, what you should be avoiding when starting on Amazon. And I'm going to be starting in the USA soon, and I'm going to be using those top tips to help grow my business, spot products that maybe I shouldn't be selling, and also making sure that my customers get a great experience by wrapping those products really well, and obviously making sure that the delivery guys do a good job. Now, quite simply, what I will say is if you've got any questions, maybe there's some top tips you've got, drop it down below. I'd like to hear, obviously drop it in the comments. And what I will say is give me a big like if you like this content, and hey, hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified about the third and final one that comes out. But also what I will say is have a look around here. I will drop a link to that third and final video so that you can see that as part of this 3-part mini-series. But for me, Thomas Parkinson from FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.